Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the AEW review for the 12th of January for AEW Dark. Once again, the show is good and bad. Some good talents on it, certainly. I love AEW. They're the best thing going in North America today as far as wrestling is concerned. I don't even think, hands down, I don't think WWE can handle uh, this um, organization by any stretch. But they still do way too much. They still are goofy with how many talent they have, and it's unnecessary. And needless to say, I'm not a fan of a lot of what they do with um, with this program. There, there's too much talent, um, and that's a good problem to have. But if you don't rein that in, eventually, no one gets over because everyone's trying to get over, and it dies, and that's not good either. Anyway, so Excalibur, Anthony Agogo, and um, Taz are your announcers. Ricky Starks, who's one of my favorite talents here, with Hook, defeats Mike Verna. Uh, Hook walks Stark out and then goes to the locker room. Uh, there's potential of Starks being forced into a match with Brian Cage. Should Cage beat Darby Allin for the TNT title on Wednesday? Starks gives Verna a little bit of offense here, but there's nothing huge to it. And Starks dominates the match. Verna gets a near fall with a power slam. Starks comes up with a spear. Starks is one of the better talents they have, period. At least in my opinion, in terms of like that under talent, that under pushed talent, and I think there's value in that. Jurassic Express with Marco Stunt defeats Fuego del Sol and Ryzen at 5 1/4 minutes. This went too long for my taste. Uh, it's fine. In Jurassic Express is they're all right. They go into a match with FTR tomorrow night, which, again, I'm not a fan of guys having matches on back-to-back nights. It's just not my thing. Um, this pairing is Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. That is the value. If they fired Marco Stunt tomorrow, I don't think anyone would care. Even the AEW diehards who support everything they do are starting to see through his act and the fact that it's one note. There are some good back and forth early between Jungle Boy and Del Sol. Ryzen gets some heat on his adversaries, misses a moonsault. Jungle Boy nails Del Sol with a clothesline and gets a hot tag. Luchasaurus dominates both. And then Ryzen breaks up an attempt at the finisher. And there's a Poison Rana. Jungle Boy sells that like $1,000,000. Luchasaurus cuts off a dive from Del Sol. Choke slams him under Ryzen. Express hits the sit-out powerbomb. And Del Sol tapped to the snake trap from Jungle Boy. I think they're wasting Jungle Boy, and to a lesser degree, I think they're wasting Luchasaurus. I think this would be a fun gimmick to market strictly to kids for even a year and see where it goes, and then Jungle Boy gets tired of being a goofball, turns heel, and you go do something more serious with him. I think they're missing the boat on that. Speaking of missing the boat, there are women under contract that are giving up a match so that these two can have one. Tay Conti and Marty Daniels go just under 2.5 minutes. Anna Jay walks Conti to the ring. Everyone's raving about Conti. I see absolutely nothing there. And I want to be wrong. I really do. I want to be wrong. I always say when I evaluate talent, if somebody proves me wrong, I'll be the first to admit, hey, I was wrong. And I don't think enough people in the wrestling business admit that. But anyway, judo throws from Conti early, and then she hits with several strikes. Conti nails a clothesline to the back of the head and hits a belly-to-belly suplex. And then they go with a TKO finish. Daniels uh, it falls quickly to Ty Conti in a dominant performance. She'll challenge for the NWA women's title tomorrow against Serena Deeb. I like the NWA title being part of things. I don't necessarily like Taya being the one you go with. Anyway, Dark Order, Stu Grayson, Evil Uno, 5 and 10, and Colt Cabana in a 10-man tag against Sean Dean, Zach Clayton, Adam Priest, Danny Limelight, and Very Morales. 8.25 minutes. Um, I hate this. These 10-man, 8-man, 6-man tags are completely waste of time. No one really gets over in them. It's spot, spot, spot. It's useless. Dark Order lacks a leader. I think they need to establish a new leader in Brody Lee's honor. Rest in peace, Brody Lee, and have a direction back. You know, even Colt Cabana could step forward, or get a completely new leader. I don't know what you do, but Dark Order feels kind of directionless now that we're healing after Brody Lee's passing, and so Morales is in the corner. Morales bumps around for everyone. Cabana hits a neck breaker and celebrates. Limelight gets the hot tag. Limelight has something, and him being in this throwaway match is just sad. There's a miscue by Cabana. Stu and Evil cut off Limelight, and Limelight gets dominated. Manages to come back with a suplex on Angels. Tags in Dean. Corner clearing. Everybody comes in. Everyone from the Dark Order hits a big boot on everyone from the other team. Cabana 5 and 10 hit their finishers on Priest, and Uno got a pin with the end of night. Nothing worthwhile here. Powerhouse Hobbs and Louis Rail go 1 3/4 minutes. Hobbs charges into the corner, hits an avalanche, and Hook stays at ringside and hits Val with a judo throw. Hobbs throws Val to the floor. Hobbs finished Val off with the World's Strongest Slam. Dominance from Hobbs. Good thing here. Red Velvet defeats Leva Bates in just over 3.5 minutes. What do they see in Red Velvet? Like, I don't get it. Leva Bates is one of the most charismatic and talented women that they have that they're not using, and it's just really, really sad. Velvet is announced just straight out of your mama's kitchen, and Velvet tries the bridge attempt. Didn't look good doing that at all. Bates gets a 1 count after a Northern Light suplex, which was well executed. Velvet basically doesn't have a lot of character, and Velvet wins with a boot to the finish in probably the worst match of the night. Dark Order, Reynolds and Silver defeats Casey Navarro and El Australiano in just over 5 minutes. Silver tries to match Navarro and gets destroyed with a front kick. Reynolds holds up Navarro in a military press. Silver flies in with a cutter for a near fall. Silver launched Navarro into a backdrop and sold that he was shocked at the height that was Gutton. Navarro tags and takes a long time to climb the ropes, hitting a sky twist press. Silver and Reynolds looked kind of clueless, standing around waiting for him. And after a few dives, Navarro and Reynolds caught Australiano with a fisherman suplex into a package powerbomb for the win. Match that easily could have been skipped. Next up, Varsity Blondes against Lee Johnson and Aaron Solo in almost 5.5 minutes. Peter Avalon came out for commentary and became interested in Johnson, and he wants him for his Pretty Parade challenge. This is a back and forth tag match, not really terribly great. Johnson hits a springboard dropkick on Garrison. Double team neckbreaker, gets a near fall. Solo comes in, blind tagged by Pillman Jr. Hits Eric Pillman for a near fall. Garrison holds up Sorrow solo and hits a power bomb. Pillman comes off top with a flying drop kick. Um, Garrison rolls out when Pillman's the legal man. Avalon hands Johnson an 8x10 of himself. And I guess that's a challenge for some sort of match in the future. I'm not necessarily a fan of the Varsity Blondes being on Dark still. Like, you've put them in to run in for John Moxley. I think it was Moxley last week. And so you're giving them more credibility than they used to have, and then you put them back here. I think the back and forth of on dark, off dark, on dark, off dark kind of mixes the level of what talents belong on a national stage and what ones are still growing in a negative way. Um, anyway, so Anna Jay is out next with Alex Garcia, just under 2 minutes there. This is a showcase match for Anna Jay, and several kicks by Jay. Hit her with Queen Slayer Sleeper for the win. Jay looked strong here. NWA Serena champions, or NWA Women's Champion Serena Deeb defeats Tesha Price with Bro Jones at just over 3.25 minutes. Price didn't even get an entrance in this. Decent mat work from Deeb early on, and Jones is identified by Taz very lightly. Deeb hits some vertical suplexes on Price and a face first pile driver called a Detox. Gets her the win. And I guess this builds to their the NWA Women's Championship match tomorrow. Beer Country or Bear Country, Boulder and Bronson defeats Baron Black and Nick Camarato in just under 6 minutes. Beer Country gets a decent entrance. It's not a showcase for them. Camarato looks okay. He throws the Country Boys around a bit and gets offense. Black takes a lot of punishment from Bear Country. Black and Kanemaru end up with a pile in the corner. Country Boys here do more in a dominant fashion, and they nail Black into the corner. A flash from Bronson gets on Boulder's shoulders, an electric chair, drop down the splash on Black for the pin. It was fine. Then the final match of the night, Top Flight defeats Chaos Project in just under 7 minutes. Chaos Project jumped Top Flight early before the match even begins. They settled into Darius versus Serpentico. Profit's offense is always Luther dropping Serpentico onto Darius and using some moves. Miscommunication between the project caused Serpentico to hit Luther with a dive. Darius tags in Dante. Dante gets a near fall, springboard uppercut on Serpentico. Dante throws Serpentico into Luther and flipped into Luther with a blockbuster. Luther's momentum causes him to DDT his own partner for a near fall. Eventually, Dante dumps Luther over the guardrail. Top Flight hits a finisher and gets a win. Overall, not a bad show, and they did a couple of good angles here. I like the fact that they went only 90 minutes. I don't like the fact that they're still using too many talents, and that gets frustrating. We'll be back with the Impact review right after this.